Homeowners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Compared to yesterday at this time, it is still warmer out, even if it doesn't necessarily feel that way. We're seeing double-digit warmer temperatures in Charlotte and in Ionia, and it's going to continue to climb here as we go into the afternoon now. It's 41 in Lansing, seeing a lot of the 40s actually scattered around the area. One of the holdouts there, Hastings, at 39. Now, these temperatures had started in the mid-20s, so this is an improvement from the morning. Now, for the rest of the day, we'll move them up even higher. That will lead to the chance for our next system, though. We'll track it coming up as 6 News at Noon begins.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at Noon.
President Trump is meeting with Defense Secretary Hegseth in the Oval Office today, and more cuts are coming. It's our top story at noon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. Megan is off today. Today's meeting comes as the White House denies a report by the New York Times that advisor Elon Musk was going to be briefed on top secret war plans. Natalie Brand is here for you now with the story.
President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced plans Friday to build next-generation fighter jets.
In terms of all of the attributes of a fighter jet, there's never been anything even close to it, from speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload.
It comes shortly after advisor Elon Musk visited the Pentagon for what Secretary Hegseth called an informal meeting about efficiency and innovation. President Trump, along with Musk and Secretary Hegseth, all deny a report by the New York Times that the Pentagon set up a briefing for Musk on plans for potential war with China. In a social media post this morning, President Trump called the report false and said Musk is not being briefed on anything China. In the latest court ruling against the administration, a federal judge has blocked DOJ's access to Social Security systems containing Americans' personal information, calling it essentially a fishing expedition. Meanwhile, teachers' unions are vowing to fight the president's new executive order to dismantle the Department of Education.
The Department of Education was established in 1980. We've spent almost $3 trillion since that time trying different programs through both administrations, and it hasn't worked.
The president says student loans, Pell Grants, and funding for children with special needs or from low-income families will be fully preserved but redistributed to other agencies and departments. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
A group of people demanding that Congressman Tom Barrett hold an in-person town hall meeting delivered more than 2,000 signatures to his office today, urging him to make that happen. Representatives from Michigan Families for Fair Care, which is an advocacy group for health care, say if Congressman Barrett is willing to vote for cuts to Medicaid, he should be just as willing to speak before his constituents about his decision. Barrett did have a telephone town hall earlier this month, but many people couldn't take part due to technical difficulties. Meanwhile, the group behind today's protest has organized a town hall of their own and are inviting the congressman to hear their concerns. The event is set for 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, April 22nd at the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local 333 on South Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Lansing. 6 News will keep you updated on if Representative Barrett accepts. Staying with politics, we're following a bipartisan bill now making its way through the state house that, if passed, would designate Michigan as a Purple Heart state. Several other states have passed similar bills to express their support and gratitude to veterans who were injured or killed serving our country. The bill has been referred to the State House Committee on Government Operations. It's been nearly a year since a cargo ship crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, killing 6 road workers. The National Transportation Safety Board released new information into the bridge collapse investigation Thursday. They found the structure was almost 30 times over the acceptable risk level for critical or essential bridges. The NTSB is now recommending 68 bridges across 19 states be evaluated to determine their risk of collapse in the event of a vessel collision, including the Brooklyn Bridge, Maryland's Chesapeake Bay Bridge, and the Golden Gate Bridge.
A risk level above the acceptable threshold doesn't mean a collapse from a vessel collision is an absolute certainty. What we are telling bridge owners is that they need to know the risk and determine what actions they need to take to ensure safety.
A final report into the Baltimore Bridge collapse is expected to be released this fall. It's a sure sign of spring in Michigan when the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers opened the Poe Lock, part of the Sioux Locks in Sault Ste. Marie today to all marine traffic, marking the start of the 2025 Great Lakes shipping season. The locks officially closed after the last vessel of the 2024 season on January 16th to undergo critical repairs and maintenance during the 10-week-long winter shutdown. Federal regulation establishes the operating season based on the feasibility of vessels operating during typical Great Lakes ice conditions. It's Rosie the Riveter Day in mid-Michigan, and there's quite an event planned to celebrate it at the Capital Region International Airport. Organizers say the event will honor and celebrate the contributions of Rosies, veterans, current military personnel, and women in manufacturing and STEM fields. It also includes live entertainment, vintage planes with a flyover, and numerous women leaders speaking. Our very own 6 News anchor Sherry Jones is emceeing the event. This day is honoring the more than 6 million women who entered the workforce during World War II. Rosie the Riveter and her "We Can Do It" motto became symbols that women helped win the war and paved the way for expanded opportunities in the workforce. Today's celebration will take place from 3:30 to 5:30 this afternoon.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We started out with bright blue skies this morning. Now we have clouds moving in. Thankfully, they're cirrus clouds, so they're fairly high up in the atmosphere and don't pose any risk of rain. We are in the 40s for the moment, but if it was raining, it would just feel colder out. Satellite and radar shows us rain-free, clouds moving in though, and that's a part of a system that has the chance to produce rain and even a little bit of snow when you look over towards Wisconsin and the UP. This is because we're in a transition period. There's warmer air to be had. It's 50 in Peoria, and in Milwaukee, we're at 41. So the warmer air is being brought in. It's just going to take a little bit longer to get to the maximum heating of the day. That should get us to the 50s, and with whatever sunshine we can squeak in between the clouds, that'll just help. It is with that wind, though. 15 to 25 miles an hour sustained, gusting higher than that. Looks like the worst of the wind will peak here in the next several hours, around 30 to 40 miles per hour. And even in the overnight hours tonight, by midnight, gusts are still around 30 miles an hour. So take that and then put those temperatures in play. It means we'll have wind chills likely back in the teens tonight. Now, as our temperatures cool down, the chance for rain showers switches over to a chance for snow showers, but it's not going to amount to much. Just a limited chance of snow here tomorrow. Temperatures staying in the 30s in the afternoon, but it is with a chance for some clearing of the skies a little later in the day. You can see what I mean when you look at the precision cast. We have a few chances for rain popping up here around 10 o'clock. It's going to be after sunset, so hopefully most everyone will be in. Then we get into the early morning hours. Still seeing a few areas where we could have some showers, but you blink and you miss it. It's going to be a very quick mover. Could have an isolated flurry or two tomorrow, but again, not seeing much in the way of snow at this point. It's going to be cold enough, though, that we could have some chances for snow in the future. The temperature pattern shows us that we do have that cooler air moving in, and along with it, we're going to have several rounds of cool air just kind of sinking down. Now, when you look at the 6-day forecast, you'll see that we do have temperatures that are on the cooling side, especially in the overnight hours. We're seeing those lows dropping down into the 20s, and with all the moisture to be had, that will lead to the chance for some frost. When we take a look at those daytime temperatures, it's going to be above freezing. So we're in that transition period again where it's below freezing to start the day, above it to end it, and that's going to pretty much cut off our chances for snow at this point. Any snow that would try to accumulate is going to be actively melting. So when you look at the forecast for, say, Sunday, when we have that rain and snow mixing together, yeah, that'll happen, but the snow is going to be melting with highs around 44. Same thing for Monday, highs in the upper 30s. We can have that snow earlier on when we have the cooler air, but it's not going to be sticking around. And then we go beyond that, and Tuesday and Wednesday actually show us that things are going to calm down a little bit. 41 for Tuesday, 43 for Wednesday. Those temperatures down below freezing in the overnight. So kind of just starting to level things out. And in the atmosphere, we rely a lot on waves. You have warm air, you have cold air, and when it bobs up and down, you get that active weather, some rain, some storms. Once it calms down for us, we're just going to be dry and cloudy.
Dry and cloudy.
Yep, every time.
It's never sunny. Never dry and sunny.
I just want like
Very
a stretch
rarely.
of 7 sunny days, and then of course we can get rain because we need it, but still.
If that happens,
Yeah, you can thank me. Yes.
All right, well, let's take a look at this. A lava fountain was visible at Hawaii's Kilauea volcano during its latest eruption on Thursday. Footage live streamed by the U.S. Geological Survey shows lava shooting into the air, reaching between 50 to 100 feet high. Kilauea's current eruption began on December 23, 2024.
Europe's busiest airport is brought to a standstill. I'm Ian Lee with what caused the nightmare for hundreds of thousands of travelers, including many Americans.